Hello all. We are Team 3 from Big Data subject. We are presenting our topic InvestorIntel.ai. Usually in the life of angel investors and VCs, the team which they have that consists of data analysts and other analysts who usually screen the startups and analyze the startups and how the market trend is going for that particular industry. There is usually a time period of around 20 to 40 hours they take to analyze particular startup. We have built InvestorIntel.ai to minimize that time by taking the pitch decks from startup founders, and we are analyzing the startup. We are bridging the gap between the market trend reports of the industries, and we are giving a summarized version of the pitch deck as well as the report generated from there. Along with that, we are doing market competitor analysis, wherein for that particular industry, the startups which are there in the industry, who have done well in their domain, we are highlighting those things so that it would be easy for investors to take the decision to invest in startups or not. Let's go with the flow of the application. This is the login panel. This is the initial, I'm like the startup panel, wherein the founder would come and upload their pitch decks. So we have given validation checks for every input. Let's initiate with something like dashboard. So if we like just enter here, it will show that valid email address is not here. So we need to give valid addresses. There are around 13 industries which we have catered to, and we have took reports from Deloitte for these particular industries so that we could analyze the status much better. So we are giving those inputs to users on which industry they particularly are they go into. So let's say this is a tech service company named Dashmart, something like dashmart.com. We are asking the funding details to them. So let's say they want to raise around $50,000. The round type, let's say series A, B, C convertible. So let's 50,000, let's consider it as a seed type. Equity offered might be around, let's say 20% in the initial stages. So valuation ask, we are giving a validation check. If the valuation should be more than the funding amount, that's the usual criteria. So let's say this is that we are calculating the post money valuation by adding up the things for the valuation and the funding round. Let's upload the pitch deck here. So we have different pitch decks. So let me just go with a random Uber one. So on the back end, we have already signed up few investors. So these are the names for them. So let's say we go with, and the startup has the option to select multiple investors also to send their pitch deck. So let's say we focus on, let's say two for now. They can upload number of founders and their LinkedIn profiles here. So let's stick it to one for now. So let's say we go with Janvi as the founder name, and we need to upload their LinkedIn IDs. So yeah, let's say we are uploading it randomly. So once the submit button goes, our backend process immediately checks whether the startup name is already there in a database or not, which is stored in the Snowflake. If it is not there, so your startup would be successfully sent to all the investors which you have listed down here. Let's go to the investor panel, and this would be explained by Janvi.
So in the investor panel, we have given the user an option to log in and sign up. So for the new investors, they'll sign up in this panel, and we have added validation checks here as well. So let's say John Doe is a new user. We'll be verifying if the email already exists or not. So we have done all those checks here. Yeah, so this is our sign up panel. Then we have a login. Let's log in with an existing investor so we can see like which startups are under them. So yeah. So this is the welcome page of our dashboard. Here we have four options. Either the startup portfolio is new, reviewed, funded, or rejected. So we have given this flexibility to the investor itself. The investor can select whether they want to select the startup or not. Let's see. Let's go to DoorDash. This is the page for DoorDash. First, we have the startup details. Then we have the funding details. It was entered by the users itself. And then we provide a brief summary about the pitch deck uploaded by the investor. So the uploaded by the startup. So the investor doesn't need to go through everything. We have targeted the key points, like what is the problem, solution, the service which it is using, likewise, and we have summarized based on it. Then we also give option to update the status of the startup, like after the analysis, once the investor thinks if the startup is uh, can be invested or not, so he can just change the status. And yeah, for overall is portfolio management. Then the second task is competitor analysis. We uh, we do analysis based on the industry. We take which are the startups, top 10 startups in that industry. First we select the startup based on the revenue and then the employee growth. So yeah, first we display the display about its competitors, description, revenue, growth rate, and number of employees, like that. So you can see the top 10 startups that are um, for this industry. Then this is the competitor matrix. It will display the results in a tabular format, which is easier to view. Then we also do geographic distribution by city, like where are the competitors located. So here we can see that New York City has maximum number of startups. Then there's market analysis. This will be explained by Keith.
So in market analysis, we are doing analysis by reports from Deloitte. So there are approximate 15 to 20 Deloitte's reports. So where these are from different industries. So based on that, we are doing the market analysis. So here, like according to the industry, we are putting analysis report here and some graphs over here. So we are showing some top competitors by revenue and the employees growth of of that industry. Then the next one is the new trends. So here we are showing the top five news based on the startups and industry. If there is if there is like no other news for that startup, then it will take industry and you will get five news on that top five news and articles based on their startups. Then there is Q&A for our investor intel application. So where we can put any query and investor can ask any query based on startups which is available in our database, like whatever the startups are available in our database. So investor can ask any query, like suppose if I ask like what is the ask of Airbnb. So you will see the result. So Airbnb is seeking for this much of dollar. Then if there is any irrelevant question, then you won't get answer. But if it is like suppose it is not related to startup, but it is related to some similar industries, so you will get an answer, because we are doing Q&A based on industry as well as startups. Then also airflows. So we have two DAGs over here. First is Grojo Snowflake update pipeline. So where we are
We had an initial pipeline where we initially loaded the data from Grojo website, and then we have scheduled it for every week since the website is updated every week. So we just scrape the only the updates of the part. So yeah, this is the pipeline for the Grojo one. After scraping, first step will be the scraping data. Then we'll update if the record is not present, or insert if the record is not present, and update the existing record for the new funding rounds, new valuation, and then we'll insert it to the refined data. We'll insert it into Snowflake, and then we also merge it with the another data from Crunchbase. So that will be the final view from which we'll take we'll do competitor analysis, and this is the second pipeline.
so second pipeline is we are loading industry reports. So we are taking industry reports from Deloitte. So we are taking these reports, storing in S3. Then after that, we are summarizing through LLM, and we are putting in Snowflake and Pinecone. We are putting in Snowflake and Pinecone. We are putting because in Pinecone because we wanted to do Q&A for that, and in Snowflake, as you saw the market. Uh,
To get a structured output from there.
yeah, to get a structured output in market analysis, that for that we store in Snowflake.
Yeah. And for Deloitte reports, we have created a web scraper who would scrape those websites, go to the PDF section, download the PDF, store it in S3, and then our Gemini model would summarize it and then store those summarized version in Snowflake and Pinecone. So let me quickly walk through the architecture diagram. So our complete backend is hosted on Cloud Run. So we have created fast APIs for different functions which we are calling to. Whenever a startup pitch deck would be uploaded, immediately the API would call LangGraph. We have used LangGraph so that we could condense all the condense all the agents and help them to talk with each other. So because we are using multi-agent architecture here to generate the final report for the investors. So one of the agent is the industry analysis agent, as we saw, where Deloitte reports are being merged along with so industry analysis is one of the agent wherein we are merging the Deloitte reports, the summarized version of the startup pitch deck, as well as the competitors. Second agent is the web search agent. We have used MCP server here, wherein we are calling Google, the custom Google Cloud search MCP server, and we are fetching the results from there, which we saw in the news section. Third is the summary agent, wherein once the pitch deck is uploaded, a Gemini generates the summary, stores it in Snowflake and Pinecone. And finally is the Q&A bot, not particularly agent, but a Q&A bot wherein we are asking the questions to it, and it returns the output for the particular questions by doing embeddings over the input questions. We have used Gemini overall for the LLM integrations. And we have created Airflow and hosted it on AWS EC2 instance, and wherein our pipelines usually run on uh, every Tuesday. And apart from that, we have created CI/CD pipelines, wherein we have created around 9 unit tests and 2 integration tests, which would cater to the input functions, whatever Git push team members does. So these are the two pipelines we have created up here. And so this is the testing pipeline and this is the deployment backend pipeline, wherein once the code is uploaded to the GitHub, immediately if the all the test cases pass, it would deploy the code to backend, deploy to Google Cloud, run. So, and here are the test cases which we have created inside the test folder of backend, wherein there are different integration and unit tests. And we have mocked different Supabase and Pinecone and other servers up here so that we could test it properly before integrating it into directly into our final main merge code. So this is in general overall architecture and the user flow for the entire project which we have made. And yeah, thank you all.